You're at a point in your life where you're considering joining the military. This channel is run by former Royal Marines Commandos who will give you all the insights as to why you should or shouldn't join. It's a massive decision joining the military, and one that you should never ever take lightly. I remember when I first joined, I was weighing up the options of the danger element of the military versus the reward of achieving something great, but also knowing I had to give up some of the things in my civilian life that I really enjoyed, one especially being my freedom. So we're going to delve into some of the cons for joining, and then we'll delve into the positives for joining. With any job, there's obviously a lot of cons and not a lot of negatives that are connected with a job. In the military, those can very much be magnified. And one thing I would say is the hard times in the military are very, very hard. Good times are very, very good. You have to get very used to adapting very quickly to different situations and different scenarios. So some of the negatives are going to affect people more than affect others. For instance, being away from family. Some people might love that, others might really hate it. Obviously being away from girlfriends, boyfriends, your friends, your family, your safe environment that you've potentially grown up in your whole life. Those things will be taken away from you for extended amounts of time. And at many points in your career, you're going to have minimal contact with people like that. If you're going on operations for 6 months, you might get 30 minutes a week at the most talking to people. So that can be obviously a positive and negative depending on how much you like your family. Physical demands, obviously depending on which service you're joining, there can be physical demands that you could potentially get really badly injured with, obviously putting yourself on the line, and these are just part and parcel of the job. If you're joining something like the Royal Marines Commandos, then there's very much an expectation that you will get injured at some point. It might be a minor injury, it might be a massive injury, but if you're pushing yourself to your limits, there's obviously always that risk involved. Not only that, but obviously if you're going into operations, the risk of life and death or life-changing injuries is massive and something that you really need to consider. Obviously when times are peaceful, these risks are very small, but there's always a conflict around the corner, and so you need to be really aware of those risks. Wages might not always be the greatest. It's well renowned that the military don't get paid amazingly compared to a lot of jobs in civilian street. However, I like to think that jobs that you can go into after the military can massively outweigh that negative, especially with the skills and experience you're going to require within a military career. Many employers will look at those, and that can be an advantage when you're going into employment. I think in a very structured, disciplined organisation, there's not too much room for creativity. So if you are quite a creative person, you might find that you struggle with that. However, again, it's only potentially a period of time where you'll equate so many other skills. You can easily weigh this up and see that there's more positives than negatives in this regard. So talking about positives, so one of the biggest things is job security. When we talk about the current climate of the world, post-COVID especially, there's a lot of jobs that aren't massively secure, whereas there's always a need for militaries, and so therefore the security of your job is optimal. Educational opportunities, a lot of people don't realise, but when you leave you can get degrees paid for. When you're in, you'll get money put towards education if you want to do that. Obviously when it comes to promotions, you'll get opportunities for educational development as well. The experiences that you'll gain and the life experiences, life knowledge, and the friends you'll meet are huge, and I don't think that there's any other jobs in the world where you'll get similar opportunities. When I think of times in like Norway and Finland, skiing for free and getting paid for it, and you think, civies are paying a lot of money for that. The opportunity for self-development is incredible, and probably the number one positive I would say about joining the military. Say you only need to do 4 years, so that's 4 years of hard graft and learning, travelling the world, meeting new people, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself within those 4 years. That means that you can basically go out into the world and the world's your oyster. If you're into weapon systems and technology, then obviously the military are always on the forefront of those things. They're always developing technology, developing weapons, developing their arsenal, so to speak, and so there's many jobs within the military that you can go into these things. If you're very much a hands-on person, the military is an incredible career for you. For me personally, I'm always been very sporty, very active, can't sit still, and so the military was a perfect career for me because it utilised those things. It utilised, for the first time in my life, rather than it like being a negative, I can't sit still and sit and, you know, sit in a classroom environment. It was actually seen as a positive. I'm active, I want to go out, I want to train, I want to work hard, I want to use my hands, I want to be outside. Finally, that was actually a positive. And so I found the military was incredible, and it helped me develop those skills and helped me develop my talents that I really enjoyed doing. And so if you're one of those people and you don't quite fit into the educational system at school, the military could be perfect for you. Obviously you get free dental, free medical. When you go away, you'll be paid extra as well for your time. And the routes for promotion and the routes to earn more are all there. They're all laid out for you, and it's very obvious the steps you need to take in order to follow that path if that's something you want to do over a long period of time. I hope this video has given you more insight. Obviously there's so much we could talk about. If you want to know more, just message in the comments or message us on Instagram. Cheers guys.